But speaking of disgusting Zionists, you, Brace, had an interesting interaction. There's video of this with someone, I believe, at a May Day protest. So
yes,
we're going to show video that he took of you. But can you set this up?
So every year I go to May Day because it's the workers' holiday, and I do a little march and all that kind of stuff. And this one went from Foley Square down by the courthouse up to Washington Square Park. Kind of when the march was hitting Washington Square Park, a few blocks before it, by the IFC Theater, we're taking a turn, and there's like a group of three sort of depressed, sweaty people holding Israeli flags, and then this one extraordinary looking gentleman. I tell you this, I myself am ugly, and I've seen a lot of very ugly. Well, don't patronize me. I myself, but I've seen a lot uglier people than me. I'm going to say that I'm not the ugliest guy in the world. There's some that are worse. I've seen all kinds of freaks in my life. This guy that I see is one of the craziest looking gentlemen that I've ever laid eyes on in my life. And he's got, and no disrespect to people with freckles, all love to that. This guy has more freckles than anything I've ever seen before in my life. It is crazy. And he kind of looks like Bruce Willis if you left him sort of raisin-like in a sort of like he's desiccated. And he's filming people. He's like, go to Gaza, go to Gaza, go to Gaza, go to Gaza.
Like, why? Why would I want to be killed by Israelis?
I don't want to go to Gaza.
Why would I want to? Yeah.
Yeah, why would I you listen to those doctors? Gaza sounds horrible now.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have gone to Gaza before. Now,
right.
No, it's what am I going to stay in some rubble? I'm good. And he was like, you go to Gaza. It was insane, Katie. This guy's yelling this stuff and he's doing the thing. You know what I'm talking about. They like film you.
Yeah.
He's like trying to film people. He's thinking, it's like, I'm gonna put this on fucking Instagram later and get these little Hamas guys doxxed or whatever. Right. But whatever, everyone marched past him. No one really pays attention to him. And then I'm sitting there talking to a few people, and I see him go up to this lady on a bench who's just sitting there, and he's filming the fuck out of her, and he's just asking her. She's got some sign that says like something I can't remember. It's like the phrase you always hear. It's like something, expect resistance. But it doesn't say anything about Israel. I mean, obviously that's what it's intended to be, but like it doesn't. It's not it's like a pretty generic statement. And he's like filming her. And he's like, go to Gaza. Do you like Hamas? Like, what do you think of the rapes on October 7th? And it's just like in this woman's face with a this camera. And so I go over there, and he starts filming, which is where this footage picks up.
Okay, so let's take a look at this footage, this video clip.
Angry little imp.
My penis is none of your business. I have an inch-long penis.
So why are you here for? You pro-Hamas, or you just in the park? Just accidentally marching with these idiots?
I love these guys.
Okay, so good for you.
So for people who couldn't hear, I guess he had started by asking you about the size of your penis.
He kept after I was bothering him, he kept asking me. He started being like he tried to accuse me of being a tough guy, which, look at me. Come on. That's a tough to back.
There's a Jewish genre of tough guy that I think you achieve. Yeah.
I don't think I'm getting there. But thank you. I really thank you, Katie. I'll never forget you said that. But I'm like 3 feet away from him, and he's like, or like 2 feet away from me. He's like, are you getting in my face? I'm like, no, I'm not in your face. I'm just like, stop filming this lady. And then he starts asking me about my penis, and he just keeps asking me about my penis. And I'm just like,
what's he asking you about it?
He's like, I think he was like asking me like, because I was like, I'm not trying to. He kept asking me if I was trying to fight him because it was like, doing the filming thing. Like, what, are you gonna punch him? I'm like, no, I'm not. Like and then he was sort of accusing me of being like dickless or whatever. And eventually I was just like, yeah.
Was it a circumcision question or no? Was he challenging your Judaism? Okay.
No. Impossible. But he was just asking about that. And then after that, I just started lying to him. And so he unfortunately didn't post this video, but I just told him that I am also a Zionist and I love Israel. However, I'm more than that. I'm a rude person and I don't like the way that he looks. And I started just like going after him about the freckles and being really rude to him about that over and over and over and over again. he posted one of those videos too. I actually forgot to send it to you, but it's just me going like, "You are so ugly" to him for like minutes. I don't think anything. I take a picture of him because he has these really big fingers that I'm sort of enthralled by, and I go home and I put it on Instagram, just be like, whatever. Look at this freak today. And I get a message from this journalist, a freelance journalist. Is like, that guy's name is Ross Glick, and you are never gonna believe it, but he was busted for revenge porn and written about in the New York Post in 2019. And what do you know? He is, let me just read this off to you real quick, because it is extraordinary. If this was written about me in the New York Post, and the New York Post has written unkind things about me before. They called me a socialist grifter, which is
the grifter is always used by lazy people.
yeah. I know. And it's like, it's my grifting has nothing to do with socialism.
Right. Totally unrelated.
Yeah, I do. I call old ladies and try to pretend that I'm their son and that they need to wire me some money. That's the grift.
Right.
No, but
then you donate it to the needy. Or you redistribute it evenly. Yeah.
But no, so this was, I was shocked to read this. And this is a guy, by the way, his pictures with Michael Rappaport, Shy Davidai, all that kind of stuff, all over his social media. The disturbing story behind New York City's revenge porn perpetrators. When a Manhattan CEO logged onto her company's Instagram account last February and saw a nude photo of herself, she panicked. The 39-year-old exec hastily deleted it, but within moments, the image was reposted. And then it was on her company's website and soon her personal Facebook page. Over the next month and a half, no matter how many times she changed her passwords, nude photos of her began popping up on her other social media accounts and even made it onto her company's Twitter page. I'm a single mom living in New York City. I'm a business owner. What did they want from me? What's next? The woman, who asked not to be identified, told the Post. It turned out that the culprit was the woman's 49-year-old ex-boyfriend, Ross Glick. And thanks to New York City's new revenge porn law, the former beau was arrested. Glick, busted by the NYPD detective Dennis McCarthy, whom the woman calls her hero, was charged with unlawful use of a computer and unlawfully posting the lewd image. He ended up pleading guilty to second-degree harassment, a violation, and paid a fine. Now,
I found a picture of him, but I don't know if it captures his freckliness.
I can text you the freckliness.
Okay, yeah,
I don't know. It is something that.
So, but I'm sorry, I cut you off right when you were about to react to his being a revenge porn perpetrator.
Yeah, he got arrested for revenge porn, and then he pled down to just a regular harassment charge. And what was so extraordinary to me about this was that I'm looking for the picture.
Oh no, it's okay.
You can really get a taste of how big the fingers are in this one. I just sent it to you.
Oh, great.
You too. What was extraordinary to me about all
good,
this,
Brad, you got it, Brad. Sorry, I'm excited. Yeah. What was extraordinary
was that if you are, listen, people stand up for Israel in all kinds of crazy ways. People do go to maniacal lengths to stand up for Israel and to try to fuck with, pro-Palestine people. If you got busted for revenge porn, I don't think what you want to do is go up to some lady sitting on a bench by herself and just start putting a camera in her face and then to post on your social media.
Right. I don't even think any penis discourse should enter into it.
I think just leave the dick out of it.
Fire. Yeah.
You really don't want, you just kind of want to leave the penis out of the entire thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I've known in my life a few people who are very pro-Israel. Some, I guess you'd say Zionists.
Yeah.
Although they didn't seem to have really, that might be a little too advanced for these people.
Right. Yeah.
But I'd never met some
thing for them.
Yeah, exactly. I'd never met anybody who was like a Michael Rappaport, like go to Gaza kind of guy.
Yeah. He posted a photo of me.
Rappaport?
Yeah, I said something about how he and Brianna Wu were really good.
Yes.
Anti-Semitic spokespeople. No, we're really good anti-Zionist spokespeople because they're so stupid. Something like that.
Yeah.
And
fair.
so he underneath it, he posted a photo of me. And I've talked about this on my show before, but like, it's a photo of me holding my adorable dog. And there are a lot of unflattering photos of me that you could use, but this one is just like my Twitter photo. Here, let me just show you this thing. I just want to show you because I think it speaks to like a delusional like self-confidence on his part that he thinks that this is such an own when he looks the way he does. And I don't really punch down usually about people's looks, but
Yeah.
like this is like a fine photo, and look how cute my dog looks there.
Look at that
Like,
little beautiful dog.
she's such a queen. But the fact that someone who looks the way he does thinks he could ever make fun of anyone besides like someone with no disrespect to the elephant man people out there, but like someone who doesn't have elephant man's disease is someone who you should not be making fun of if you're Michael Rappaport.
Listen, I got to say this about Michael. I am thrilled that somebody that looks like that was able to make it in Hollywood,
Right.
because I do think that is an important thing for many of our nastiest looking children to look up to and be like, if he can do it,
matters.
I could be. Yeah, it's like all you have to do is just be annoying and you can make it.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, if you're Rappaport, just like if you're this Glick character, you don't really. It's one of the most glass house type of situations that you're really ever going to find yourself in.
Yeah,
and that's a bad place to find yourself in.
So let's take a look at Glick. There he is.
Look at it. I just want to point out
sausage fingers.
This is not a trick photo where
you didn't use like an enhancer for the.
I didn't use an enhancer. These are the fingers. Just what does one say about fingers like this?
And did you take this photo?
I took the photo. I was entranced. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's like if you saw a crazy bird or something. You're like, I gotta get a picture of that.
Well, again, this is important. I'm happy for people who have his sausage finger disorder that they have a role model. Well, no, they don't have a role model because he's like a revenge porn guy. Exactly. I'm happy that they are comfortable appearing in public.
My thing with this is, listen, a lot of people, if they got big fingers, they tend to play the bass guitar because the regular guitar, it's like, you get on too many strings and stuff like this. I don't think this guy could even play like an upright bass. I mean, these things they look like, I don't know if you ever known someone who's on methadone for a long time, but your fingers get huge.
Oh, interesting.
This guy looks like he's been on methadone since 1250 BC. These fingers are
BCE, actually.
BCE,
you don't want to be an anti-Semite.
Well,
it's
but I've never seen anything like it. He makes King Charles look like a complete sissy. These things are crazy.
Yeah. Well, Brace, did he respond to you, by the way, this guy?
He did. He responded to me and to many of his interlocutors with a copy-pasted, she withdrew the charges kind of thing. Unfortunately, the New York Post article does say that he pled down to lesser charges.
Right.
But he spent about 24 hours, it seemed like, on Twitter, just repeating that actually he's not a sex criminal because he pled down to lesser charges, and actually like it's a complete, the New York Post should withdraw the article and all this kind of stuff. And this is just a friendly piece of advice to anybody, no matter what your political persuasion is. Even if you are the craziest, you're a Nazi or you're like a crazy Zionist guy, whatever. This is for everybody. I'm just being just general advice. Even if she dropped the charges, it's not a good look to be responding to like a lot of people on Twitter being like, she dropped the charges. She dropped the charges. She dropped the charges. That just makes it look worse. It's like,
you're just drawing attention to the fact that there were any charges in the first place. And also that you copped a plea.
Yeah.
That's not very exonerating.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like Sami al-Arian, right? Speaking of current events, who copped a plea because it was the Patriot Act era of the war on terror, and he was being imprisoned unjustly, and his life was being made miserable. This is not a political prisoner, right? You don't cop a plea in this case unless you've actually done something.
I have copped one plea in my life, and that was I got busted. And they caught me. I can't even argue. They busted me pretty good about a decade ago buying drugs on the street. Total. And I you know what? I pled. I pled down to a misdemeanor. Right. All good.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. If I had been caught doing revenge porn, I'm gonna be like, I gotta fight this because I can't. I'm not.
Yeah,
exactly. I didn't do it. I'm like, I'm not.
Right.
You know, there was no way I could have fought what I fought. I did it, and they got my ass in 4K.
Right.
But if I'm being falsely accused of revenge porn, like this guy says he is, then my ass is taking that note. There's spare no expense.
Right. Right. Well, it's interesting that he pled guilty to harassment because so did Michael Rappaport.
I did not know that.
There was a restraining order against him that Lili Taylor put out when they dated or after they dated.
Wow.
And someone put that in his mentions, and he's like, we had a beautiful affair or something. We had a beautiful relationship. He didn't deny that he was. I mean, it's in an article. Like he was found. You know, she took out a restraining order, and he was found guilty of harassment. But maybe there's something about these like
interesting,
freckly Zionists. In case he's litigious, I don't want people to think I'm lying. Here it is. You can see that because Michael got into a fight with Blakely, who's this very good, very funny TikTok comedian who we've had on the show, who he tells like to go to Gaza because they're queer and, you know, wants them to be face violence and be raped and everything. So someone intervened, said, stop harassing women, Michael. And then showed the article way before Barstool drama. Michael Rappaport pleaded guilty to harassing X. That's Lili Taylor. And Michael's response was, we had a fantastic love affair. 3 exclamation points.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Why does he talk like that?
I don't know.
Aren't
Everyone thinks he's a ginger, by the way.
Is he not a ginger?
I mean, no, sorry. He Irish. Thinks he's Irish.
Yeah,
yes, he's a ginger, right,
And Rappaport sounds kind of Irish in some strange way. You're from New York, right?
Yeah.
How come you don't talk like Michael Rappaport then? You talk normal.
Yeah, I have a slight New York accent, but
I'm not talking about the accent.
Oh, all right.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Crazy thing, yeah.
I'm talking about he talks like he's somebody who is a big fan of like Run DMC or something.
Yeah, right. Like, and he apparently made it. Didn't he make a documentary about Tribe Called Quest or something?
That sounds the most Rappaport thing one could imagine.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
but like it's just weird because like even if you did talk like that at some point in your life, listen, I don't whatever. People talk all kinds of ways. But to continue well into his advanced middle age, it's an affectation. And it's one that I don't think that he realizes has possibly lost some of its charm.
Right.
That track Rappaport one feels almost sorry for because he seems like him and Gelman too. Brett Gelman actually.
Yeah. Daddy? You mean the daddy?
There is
daddy?
He is so lucky he was not famous during Me Too because that man's career would have been there's something creepy going on back there. One feels kind of bad for all these guys because I spent my whole life around freaks and losers and stuff like this, and I was like, all right, these are my people, these are my friends. And then I encounter a gentleman like this somebody who I would like, oh, look at his life, he's like this marketing guy, he's got these failed vegan fast food businesses. I'm talking about
you're talking about
the guy I was dealing with.
I forgot his name again already. Glick, right? Glick, yeah.
And I'm like, this guy is a guy I would have thought of as normally like, oh, he occupies a better place in society than me or whatever. He's more successful. Yeah. I've never dealt with a gentleman like this before.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate.
And that's the other thing. These guys, Gelman, Seinfeld, Ackman. Seinfeld's got to be. Oh, my God.
I went to school with the brother of that younger girl he dated.
Oh no.
Shoshana
was her name?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. The 17-year-old.
Yeah. He's so gross.
I know. And not funny. I'm sorry.
No, I'm Curb all the way. I'm Curb, not Seinfeld.
Well, it's just very obvious that he was the sort of weak link in like terms of the guys running that show.
Yeah. And he always was trying not to laugh at himself. And like, that's so not okay when you're not that funny.
Exactly.
It's one thing like when Eugene Merman does it, it's kind of like endearing and he's funny. But when Jerry does it, it's like, you didn't write this, you're delivering it badly, and you're trying not to laugh at something that's not funny.
Yeah, yeah. And his whole thing too, like his opening, like I guess not monologue, but like his stand-up bits, obviously significantly worse than the rest of the show because it's clear that he just wrote those.